There will be spoilers in this video for The Mandalorian Chapter 7, so if you have not seen it, please go watch it before continuing. The Mandalorian Chapter 7 involves Mando and his crew going back to the original planet where the Empire attempted to acquire Baby Yoda. In the episode, the Mandalorian attempts to put together a team, because he's been reached out to by the leader of the Bounty Hunters Guild, Greef Karga, who offers to clear his name if he can get close enough to the Imperial client and take him, after he has forcefully occupied and taken over the Bounty Hunters Guild. Mando of course is suspicious, so he puts together a team in order to help him. One of these individuals is someone that we encountered in a previous episode, Cara Dune. On their way to the planet, Mando and Cara engage in an arm wrestling competition and a feat of strength. In this moment, Baby Yoda actually believes that Mando is being threatened and uses the Force to force choke Cara, nearly killing her. But this raises an interesting question for a lot of fans. Did Baby Yoda here actually use the dark side of the Force? And the answer is actually yes. This is very clearly a Force choke. But first, before we get into the idea of a Force choke and what it really means, I do want to say that I do not believe that Baby Yoda is a dark side wielder, as later on in the episode, Baby Yoda actually uses the Force ability of Force Heal, which is strictly a light side ability. But to answer the Force ability about Force choke, yes, this is a dark side ability, but an ability that we've seen Jedi use before, even in canon. The Force choke was a dark side power, meaning that the power was fueled from dark emotions such as fear, anger, and hatred. As the name suggested, the Force choke was used to telekinetically grip, squeeze, or crush a victim's throat with the Force and restrict blood circulation and airflow. Some who used the ability demonstrated being able to lift their victim off of the ground, holding the victim up by their necks. The technique could also be aimed to break the neck of a victim, either by twisting, bending, or crushing. Depending on the degree of power applied, the effects of a Force choke on a person would result in either death, unconsciousness, or simply leaving the person gasping for air and unable to speak, with the ability sometimes being employed to incapacitate or subdue rather than outright kill. However, the ability can be used to leave a victim mortally wounded even after releasing them, resulting in their deaths without the user having to do so directly. The Force choke was generally used against one target at a time, while in some instances, perhaps involving an increase of dark side power fueled by intense emotions such as rage, two targets could be grabbed in a Force choke at the same time. Asajj Ventress and Savage Opress demonstrated this on different occasions. However, both Darth Sidious and Darth Vader demonstrated the ability to choke at least two separate individuals simultaneously in relatively casual situations. Vader in particular was able to use the ability on numerous people simultaneously, and on one occasion used the ability to crush the throats of 5 Imperial officers to make a point. With that said, Force choke is one of the rare dark side abilities that we have actually seen several Jedi use in canon before. Jedi that may actually shock you. Anakin Skywalker began using Force choke while he was still in his youth as a Jedi. He used it to an even deadlier effect when he assumed the Sith Lord persona of Darth Vader. After she turned to the dark side of the Force, we also saw Barriss Offee use the ability of Force choke. After Ahsoka was trapped in the Harsh Experience Island 4 to be hunted by Trandoshan hunters, she resolved to help her fellow prisoners as the hunters killed 2 of the prisoners who arrived with Ahsoka. Determined to change that, Ahsoka took action and ambushed a lone Trandoshan, briefly grabbing his neck with the Force to slam him down, only for him to gain the upper hand yet again, inspiring the young Jedi Khalifa to use the technique herself to try and kill him out of hatred. Ahsoka, though, eventually talked her down. Again, in The Mandalorian, we also saw Baby Yoda, or the child, do this as well. Again, yes, this is a dark side ability, but other Jedi in the past have used it before for defense, mainly though Ahsoka, although again, this is very much a dark side oriented ability. It should be noted that as of right now, Baby Yoda, or the child, has no alignment in the Force, but it's clear that he does have an affinity with both the light as well as the dark, something that's not uncommon by an untrained Force wielder. Anyway though guys, what are your thoughts on this, and the fact that Baby Yoda did actually use a dark side Force ability in The Mandalorian? And what does this mean for the series moving forward? This is actually pretty significant, as this is one of the only times in Star Wars canon that we've ever seen a member of Yoda's species use the dark side of the Force, as before they've only been strictly adherent to the light side, but all of which have been trained. But again guys, I would love to hear what you guys thought about this scene in the comments down below. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.